Delegates, it's time to live up to our potential.
Every year, the House Chamber is taken over by students from across the state of Minnesota.
Now let us make this a model assembly that will be remembered.
These students come for one reason: to get hands-on legislative experience and an actual seat of power.
I see it truly as an honor. Representatives have spent money on campaigns, they've made promises, they've really spent a good portion of their life and taken up a lot of time running for these offices that we as high school students have the opportunity and the honor to sit in those seats that they have earned, whether that be the speaker's desk or any of the seats in that chamber. And so I see it truly as an honor that we can use the space that is the Capitol.
Blaine Crawford, a senior at Blake School in Minneapolis, was elected by his peers to be the Speaker of the House this year for YMCA's Youth and Government's Model Assembly Session.
I, Blaine Crawford,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support
Students take on various legislative roles, including chief clerk, representative, and committee chair, like Sophie Wilkowske from Marshall High School in Duluth.
Managing a room full of 11th and 12th graders who might not necessarily want to talk about, a bill about transporting firewood is kind of a formidable task. So I'd say in that respect, just learning how to kind of assert yourself as the leader of a group is something really important, but also recognizing that, everybody in a group has something really valuable to add to the conversation, and recognizing how important it is to let everybody's voice be heard is something I'll definitely take away from being a chairperson.
For 4 days, students gather at the Capitol to debate bills on the House floor and in committee, but a lot happens before they get here. The students will learn how government works, some will receive leadership training, and then there's the writing of all those bills. This heavy book contains all of the bills the students have worked on the past year, and although the language of the bills is less technical and more common than what you'd find in an actual bill, the process of bill writing is still of great importance for these students. Current Representative Steve Simon was a participant in youth and government in the 80s. He remembers the bill he wrote.
I remember I had a bill on drunk driving. My father happens to be an attorney, so he helped me with it, I remember, sort of drafting the bill and showing me how to look up statutes in the statute book, and I remember going to his law office.
More than just learning about political policy, students form lasting relationships.
I send out an email to all the students and all the officers and things like that, and I always tell them, your job is to come in, gain leadership skills, have fun, have some more fun, meet new people, create, long-lasting relationships, cultivate those relationships and things like that. A lot of these students, their best friends, way after this will be students that they met here.
When you're with this group of people, you just feel like you're at home, and everyone has their own opinion and they're valued for it, and people are really respectful here. We all kind of agree that we want to change the world when you're here, and these are some of my favorite days of the year.
One of the biggest advantages Representative Simon says of the program is it broadens your horizons.
If you're a suburban kid like I was, you get to interact, as you might not have had the chance before, with kids from all over the state. So suddenly your world has expanded. In my case, I went to Hopkins High School. So suddenly my world and my horizons are expanded, and I'm not just interacting with other Hopkins and Minnetonka and Edina and St. Louis Park kids anymore. Instead, now I'm interacting with kids from Mankato and Thief River Falls and Duluth and Rochester and Onamia and St. Cloud, and that in itself is really worth the price of admission.
Representative Simon says youth and government cemented his desire to become a public servant. There's no telling what these students can become, but one may follow in Representative Simon's footsteps.
One of the things that has incited me so much about politics is the ability to have discussions and have discourse and be able to solve our nation's problems, our world's problems, and really help out the ordinary person so that they are not struggling. And that's something that is very appealing to me, particularly coming from a single-parent household where I watched my mother struggle. I've seen struggle in my life, despite being extremely privileged, I would say, for myself. I've definitely had the opportunity to see struggle, and thus I would want to mitigate that in anyone else's life as much as possible.
The sky really is the limit for these students.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more about youth in government, go to www.mnyig.org.
I am honored to speak to you today as the youth governor, and I am bursting